BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
Welcome to Rice TVX and the latest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. Today I am joined by returning guest David Schwartz, who is the CEO and co-founder of Hedge. He is also involved with the Litecoin Foundation and Litecoin Gaming. We're going to be talking about all three today. I will also include links down below and above for David's first appearance on the channel, and as always, I encourage you to check that one out. Before we get into it, make sure you visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. Plus, you can find my social media links, contact information, get Rice TVX merch coming soon via the shop, and more. If this is your first time ever watching any of my videos, check out and explore my channels. Make sure you subscribe to Rice TVX and Rice TVX2, both can be found on YouTube. And hit the notification bell to get alerted to new videos. Also, you can follow me on Odyssey and Library, where I have my full catalog of videos plus extra content. And you can also find Rice TVX on BitChute. If you want to support Rice TVX and what I do directly, I have my PayPal, Cash App, plus my cryptocurrency addresses via my Cointree link below in the video description. You can also join my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to some of my videos, exclusive content, and more, with 4 different levels of membership, all offering something different. If you are looking to purchase and invest in precious metals, gold and silver are both good safe haven assets to hedge against the financial collapse we are experiencing. Check out Money Metals Exchange. I partnered up with them and you can get a free ½ ounce of silver. Visit moneymetals.com, be a first-time buyer, purchase a minimum of $100, and use the promo code RICE. You get a free ½ ounce of silver, and it's another way to support the channel. I will include links down below for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything I talk about on today's show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on today's show is David Schwartz. He is the CEO and co-founder of Hedge. He's also the director of strategic partnerships with the Litecoin Foundation, and he is an advisor with Litecoin Gaming. He has been on the show, and I will have links down below and above for his first appearance, where we talk about Hedge. David, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Thanks, Rice. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Staying busy for the beginning of 2022 and looking forward to going to North American Bitcoin Conference, which I was mentioning to you. Mm-hmm. We're recording this today on the 12th of January, and it's going to probably get released while I'm out in Miami, just to give everybody a heads up.
I hope you enjoy your time there, too. I'm not going to be able to make it, so I'm kind of bummed out, but yeah.
It's all good, but we'll see each other in Miami the beginning of April for Bitcoin 2022, and we can talk about that a little bit more here in just a little bit. But I do encourage people to make sure that they're checking out that first interview that we did together, where it was before Hedge officially launched per se. It was like in the pre-marketing stages, getting ready to launch, and looks like everything is a go. You guys have launched. When was the launch date?
Start of December. I mean, we had some private users where we were testing some betas. We brought in a few beta users from the outside for a short period to help. And then from there, everything seemed to be going pretty good. So we're like, let's let this thing go out into the wild, and it's been going pretty good so far.
Sweet. So I'm assuming everything went successful with all the testing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We I mean, just regular tweaks here and there. It's pretty normal for when you first start up something like that. So
awesome. Well, I'm not gonna have you repeat a whole lot from that first interview, except for trying to re-explain again what Hedge is and what you guys are trying to do. On the website, which I will be sharing all these links in the video description as well. Get paid in crypto. And I like this that you add it and start living on the hedge. This made me, this definitely will show my age, but it made me think of the Aerosmith song "Living on the Edge."
Yeah. Trust me, if I had the money for marketing, I would ask them to like just do like a 5-second snippet and
Right.
sing
Just
it, right?
re-record the
Yeah.
chorus.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Someday.
Someday. And maybe Steven Tyler will get on Cameo and you might be able to get a good deal on it.
Yeah. Steven, if you're listening.
Steven, I know Steven's a big fan of this show. So Steven, reach out. Let's make this happen. So let's talk a little bit more about how this works. I mean, obviously you get paid with crypto. It's pretty simplistic. You're converting your paycheck into cryptocurrencies. And right now you guys are offering Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum.
Mhm.
So how does this work? It says automatically convert your pay into Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is you go onto the site, you go through the ID verification process, right?
Okay.
And then from there, it generates a bank account for you with direct deposit information that you can take to your employer or whoever else is paying you for whatever reason, right? And make your allocations for whatever the amount is that's going to come into it. We don't know the amount ahead of time. We just know that you're going to have money sent to this account that's designated just for you. And it'll convert it into whatever the allocations are that you specify ahead of time. So let's say for whatever reason you want to have $200 out of your paycheck sent every 2 weeks to Hedge. What's going to happen is that $200 is going to hit. And then if you have like 100 of it you want converted into Bitcoin and 100 of it converted into Litecoin, it'll do that. And then further, if you wanted to either keep it in the Hedge ecosystem, you can do that, or you can have it automatically sent out to wallets that you already own that you identify ahead of time. So, I mean, it's the easiest way to dollar cost average in and have it sent to wherever it is that you want it to go, because the platform is, wallet agnostic. We're not here to try and keep all your funds inside of us or anything like that. We're here to actually help people redirect it like a funnel, a piping system to wherever it is that they want it to go, and they don't have to worry about it. The only thing they have to change is probably the dollar amount if they ever wanted to. Otherwise, they could just let it happen every single payday.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And so right here on the website, this would be for someone that is deciding to get their paycheck in crypto or a portion of their paycheck for the different features that would be offered. And then below that, the company. So what I saw really cool about this is it doesn't change any of your tax reporting, because I know that's probably a question that people have.
Yeah, we have gotten that quite a bit. They figure it creates a taxable event, which the only event it creates is you're getting your pay in dollars initially, just like you would any other direct deposit that you do. So once it lands in that account, that's the end of that, right? That's the end of the employer to employee relationship for your pay. So since everything's in dollars and it's coming from your same employer, or from, maybe you're a contractor and you're getting the money that way, or it's a commission from real estate or whatever it is, you're going to report it how you would any other way. There's no crypto involved in that. And then from the point that it lands, then you've already given the directions on what you want to have happen. So from the point where it goes from dollars into crypto, then there's transaction. It shows the transactions within the platform as to when they happened, what was the conversion rate, did you send it out, did you keep it in there, whatever. All that's in there already, so you can track it from there. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
That's cool. I mean, I think this is a really cool tool, that gives people those options to be able to, like you said, not only dip their toes into crypto, they can do the dollar cost average strategy, but just be able to get into the game and accumulate, especially if you're thinking about, as a strong proponent as I am about learning about economics, and you learn what's going on with the system and you see all the inflation is happening, anything that you can do to hedge, using that word, which is a great word. Using, it's a good way to hedge against, the inflation that's taking place by getting involved in things like cryptocurrency. And I'm also a big, strong proponent of precious metals. I mean, they've proven themselves throughout time. One thing,
it's interesting. My parents, they're into it now, and so I paid them some rent. We stayed with them for a short time back in 2017 when I first got in, and I paid 1 month in Litecoin, and they've held it ever since. And so now my parents, they're at the point where they really don't need they're very fortunate. They really don't need their Social Security checks or anything, but they come in, and they're not large amounts at this point. So my dad had just asked if there's a way they could just have that check converted, and then it could sit there because they don't have any other wallets per se, and they're not really looking for them. So it was really easy for them because they just leave it right in the Hedge platform, and now they're going to be getting crypto instead through their Social Security checks, and they don't have to do anything.
So you don't have to do it with just an employer. You can actually do it with like a government check, like
anything where you can get a direct deposit or a wire ACH.
Okay. That's very cool. It's good to know.
Yeah.
That's very good to know. So
it doesn't have to be an employer. It's somebody who's sending you money and they need your direct deposit information. So holy crap, look at me. I'm not wearing it. I don't have a beard.
Yeah, no, you look totally different.
Damn, I look younger.
It's almost like you're like the bizarro version of yourself. the David Schwartz evil twin.
How long ago was that?
It was like 4 months ago, maybe. August 17th.
This is what running a business has done to me. I'm like completely just. I look like I just got off an island by myself, talking to a volleyball or whatever.
Yeah, you don't have the glasses on, and actually compare it. If you look at this and you look at your picture from the website, it's like two totally different people. Yeah, this looks like Mr. Rogers, and now you kind of look like a retired Randy the Macho Man Savage.
Oh yeah.
And actually, the wrestling thing, like I don't know if it just like came through subliminally. So I did ask you. I know we couldn't make it happen, but in a future interview, I would like to be able to get Miss Danielle Monet on the show, former WWE wrestler. So I guess because I just saw her and was thinking about wrestling, Randy Savage with the beard just kind of came out.
I don't know if you know, but she's actually going to be in the Royal Rumble on January 29th.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, no, I have invited her back, and she's going to be in the ring with 29 other females duking it out for
I haven't been keeping up, but is she going to be making like a return, or is this just kind of like a one-off thing?
I'm assuming it's a one-off, but it's something they do. I guess they invite them back here and there, and she's in good enough health and obviously taking care of herself. So she was like, yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. I did see like your guys, because in the first interview that we did, you were talking about where people can, with their profiles, choose a different hedgehog. How the hedgehog is the mascot for.
Yeah, we haven't added that in yet, but that's one of my.
Did I see that on Twitter?
Fun roadmap things. Oh yeah, so we had like the circle with all the different vocational
yeah, that's what I was looking for.
There was like a fireman Hal and military Hal and Dr. Hal, and
yeah, I like how you guys did that because you were mentioning doing it. Oh, there she is.
Yeah,
awesome. Summer Rae.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember her wrestling name offhand.
Yeah, but yeah, we have all those different. Yeah, we can talk about that too. We're helping to promote the radio station in Tulsa, but.
Yeah, well, I saw she was going to be on there. I've been on Matt's show. I met him at Bitcoin 2021.
Yeah,
we were staying at the same hotel together.
Yep. Yeah, he's reaching that radio station reaches out to almost 1 million people around the Tulsa area. So that's pretty cool.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's good for the crypto space.
Yes, it is.
It's good that he's filled that niche. I mean, I've considered looking into like talking to, there we go. Finally, I found it. I've been considering like talking to local radio stations, maybe about doing like a show weekly or something like that, and try to see what could come out of it, even if it's AM and get good ratings.
Yeah,
because that's how you reach more people. There's a totally different demographic, I think, when it comes to radio than a YouTube or even audio podcasts.
I would agree with that.
So yeah, I like all the different career designs for how he's like progressing.
He's a cutie. So at some point the goal is to be able to have people change the HAL in their Get Hedge platform, but for right now it's just plain old HAL, butt naked HAL. So
if you're in the military or something like that, you can have the kind of the camouflage look. And if you're like a college student or a nerd, you can have this little dude with glasses. There's a IT medical professional, there's a farmer, there's all sorts of everything. College, high school, graduate.
Yeah, the one with the laptop, that's an IT guy.
IT, okay.
Yeah. And then you have just a regular, like, white collar professional down there with the suit and tie on.
Yeah, these look nice, man. This one right here is a suit and tie guy.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Craig did a lot of work to get those all set up. So he did a good job.
Yeah, and people have to watch that first interview that we did together because we went into detail about how, because I was really impressed with the colors, the design. It's just
Thanks.
a really cute little character. And now
Yeah, I
now
won't
that
spoil it.
you got some merch.
Yeah,
Merch
we've been
available.
trying to. It takes a little bit for this page to come up real quick, but yeah, we've been trying to expand that a little bit, and
I did
that'll
wear
keep
my.
growing.
I wasn't going to do it again because it would have been. I felt tacky for me to wear my head shirt again, but I did wear my head shirt in the first interview with you.
Yeah,
Go hedge yourself.
go ahead.
But I
yourself.
like living on the hedge. That's a really good tagline.
It was funny because so Josh, our director of operations, he came up with "Go Hedge Yourself," and I came up with "Start Living on the Hedge," and we were kind of having a little battle back and forth on which one we were going to make the main like slogan. But everybody likes both of them, so we kind of use them interchangeably where we need to.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
No, I love that. It's cool. I mean, they're both good ideas. Now, I had to ask you this because I've been doing a little research on this since we've talked about it before. You now have other entities that are offering these type of services.
Yeah.
Coinbase, Strike, other
Mhm.
ones. What do you feel separates you guys hedge against any of these other platforms that are offering the same or similar services?
Well, one, I think because it's really what we concentrate on. It's our singular goal is to make it, as simple and easy as possible. So, like, if when you go into the platform, it is literally simple. There's one dashboard screen, and you can click on, either edit your allocations, or you click on there, like you click on the Bitcoin logo, and you can see all the transactions from Bitcoin in there. And then there's a profile page that has like your direct deposit information on there. And I mean, that's it. You're
Right.
not getting all these extra things because I mean, I liken it to sort of like Google at the beginning. I mean, it was literally a search engine, and that's what they did, and they did it really, really well. And from there, they were able to expand out to other things. So why come out with 50 bells and whistles to distract somebody from the beginning when in reality, the entire reason why we did this to start with was to fix a problem, and that was to make a bridge between the fiat to crypto world that's very simple. It's not going to be intimidating people who have never had crypto before. They don't have to go looking for wallets or anything, and there's one right in there, so when they convert, it can just sit there until they learn more about it, and then they can go and expand onto whatever else they want to do. Or other people who, like me, they send it to different types of wallets. You're able to do all of that automatically through it, and I don't have to do all these manual once I convert, or once I go into like Coinbase and exchange it after I've gotten paid already. All that stuff, that's all manual. Those are all manual steps, right? So we pretty much eliminate all that, and it's wallet agnostic, which to me, maybe one or two also offer that type of a thing, but to be able to singular focus on that and then be wallet agnostic to where we're helping out everybody, I think those are the key ingredients to making us unique.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, when you think about Coinbase and Strike, I mean, I know Coinbase, obviously, your funds would be put into your Coinbase account,
Mm-hmm.
which is a custodial account. You don't have your private keys to it. So there's
Yeah,
a
and I
lot.
think if you use the Coinbase, like they have the opportunity for you to convert your pay, but it goes straight onto this card, right? I don't think there's any real other options for that. You can't do
Right,
anything
which
else with
that's
it.
available to anybody.
And we'll have a card too, but I mean, that's a choice of yours. That's not something where that's the only opportunity you have to send the money once it's been converted. So,
Oh, cool. So you guys do have plans to integrate some sort
mhm.
of debit card?
Yeah, and that goes through with one of the partners that we have in the back end. So,
Okay, well, I guess that's a good time to talk about partnerships and kind
yeah.
of the future of Hedge now that everything is kind of, launched and going and successful.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, it's still very low key sort of marketing at this point because there's some things that we want to try and do, and we don't want to have to maybe switch some avenues while we're in the middle of a large influx of people coming in. So, I mean, we're still, trying to bring people in, but it's a modest type of marketing, program right now. But I think with the Bitcoin 2022 conference, the start of April, that's sort of when we'll switch gears, and then it'll go much heavier. And we're doing that with one of our backend partners, Transcard. So it's a very, very successful large payments company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and they're tied to MasterCard. And so when we get our debit card, it'll be a MasterCard debit card where you can take your crypto, put it on it, and then spend it. So,
and most of the ones I see are Visa logoed, right?
Right. So that there are some, I've seen a few that are MasterCard, but it's pretty unique to have a MasterCard one right now. Most of them are Visas. So,
what would be unique, and I don't even know if it's even like a possibility. I mean, maybe it is, but American Express, I haven't seen anything with American Express in crypto.
It's interesting. I was asking my partner, my co-founder, Paul, about that one time when I was down visiting him in Nashville. I was asking him, what's the difference between Discover, American Express, Visa, MasterCard? And because that's the space he came from, was payments and cards and all that kind of stuff. And his main takeaway to me was that they all sort of cater to different business models, right? So Visa is very much into an individual or consumer sort of, like, that's their main thing. MasterCard really does a lot of B2B type stuff. American Express and Discover can be completely different as well. And so I'm assuming at some point you might see, a Discover one or American Express, but I think just the way their business model is probably not. I don't think they're in a rush
they seem to focus more on the wealthier side of people, and definitely not for the individual consumer, for sure.
Yeah, American Express I think would be more like your higher end. Yeah,
that makes sense. Totally makes sense. Cool. Well, was there anything else that you wanted to share in regards to Hedge?
Numbers have gone up so far since we went live. It's only been 6 weeks. In January, we already doubled the amount of people that have done at least the initial sign up part of it. So from December, so that's very encouraging. And we had CJ Sapong. He's one of the more respected and veteran players in the Major League Soccer. He has taken one of his paychecks and bonuses in crypto through Hedge already, and plans to use it for next season as well. Yeah, he's also one of our advisors. And then we have a few more things hopefully coming down the pipeline here. We'd like to hear some news on it probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And if that happens, that's if what I'm hoping happens, that'll be a very big plus for us. So,
very cool.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously something that's being brought to mainstream attention when you're seeing not only these various athletes and various deals with different companies and taking a portion or all of their pay in crypto, but you have a plethora now of mayors in the United States that are doing it. New York, Miami, a couple other Florida counties, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure of all the different mayors, but there's a lot. So, I mean, it's definitely coming into the mainstream and it gives people options. I do want to let people know that if you're interested in utilizing Hedge and you want to go ahead and convert all or part of your paycheck into Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum, I'm going to have an affiliate link down below in the video description. And that's another way that you can support the channel. It doesn't affect anything that you do with using the service. It just is another way to support Rice TVX. So if you want to use Hedge, make sure that you're using my affiliate link that's going to be in the video description. And that would be greatly appreciated. Is that something you're going to be offering publicly, the affiliate program?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, so we started with a few choice people that we felt would be, that we've either had a liking to or felt that it'd be a good place to start, you having to be one of them. But we have the ability to create links for basically anybody. So if anybody's interested in doing that, it's great. But we wanted to start out with some people who we felt could make a difference. So,
okay, well, I definitely greatly appreciate it, man. I definitely do. Well, yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to do a follow-up, and once maybe we could do something live while we're in Miami for Bitcoin 2022.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Get some of these new updates, some of these things you guys are going to be pushing with the marketing campaigns, and maybe some more announcements of partnerships, and maybe some celebrities or different politicians that are utilizing Hedge to receive a portion or all their paycheck, which would be really cool.
Yeah, maybe we can corner the president from El Salvador and talk to him or something.
I'm trying.
Turn my hat back just for him today.
Yeah, after we're done recording, I'll tell you something about that too.
Okay.
So I guess if you don't mind, just for the last few questions, since you are the director of strategic partnerships with Litecoin Foundation, I did have a couple questions about Litecoin.
Yes.
I wanted to ask about because I am trying to get Charlie back on the show, and I know Litecoin does what it does, and it does it well. It's not right now like an exciting project. There's not NFTs or DeFi, so it doesn't get as much of attention. And what really sucks about cryptocurrency right now is it seems like you can have a very functional blockchain and a good product, but if you don't have all this excitement and buzz around what you're doing, it just makes it irrelevant. Yeah. And it's really sad. And I know we have OmniLite going to be added to Litecoin and the Mimblewimble extension with M-Web.
Yeah.
OmniLite is the layer that Tether's built on Bitcoin, or the Omni layer on Bitcoin is what Tether's built on.
Yes. Yeah.
So this, from my understanding, this would allow for tokens and NFTs to be able to be created on the Litecoin blockchain.
Yeah, they are right now. We actually have an auction going on. There's a guy, he created a chicken warlock, so it's in honor of M-Web, and he created an NFT on the OmniLite layer that is being auctioned on Twitter. I think it's at like 4 Litecoin now for the NFT. And others have built NFTs on it already too. And then there's been a number of tokens already created. And you can do decentralized crowdfunding too. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do on top of OmniLite. And, the goal is at some point to obviously get USDT on OmniLite for Litecoin too, which I think would help with costs, right? Because if you, like me, I've used USDT with ERC20. So holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of that. And I mean, with Bitcoin, it's better. But I mean, if you can imagine Litecoin on, using OmniLite for USDT, the costs associated with that would just be dramatically lower. And so to me, it's a no-brainer. It's just a matter of when, not if. So
when did OmniLite get officially added?
It's been live for a couple months, but it's interesting. They did the surprise announcement, and then like the NFT aspect wasn't really. I mean, it was done, and it was ready, but they didn't necessarily want to roll it out right away, which was frustrating for some people because they wanted to because when the NFT thing was, and it's still going hot, but I mean when it was like really hot, people wanted to try them out right away, and it just wasn't really. They didn't have it ready yet, so it kind of frustrated some people. And the other thing that I've learned, because I'm really not into NFTs myself right now or anything, but the other thing I learned was the marketplaces can be very complex to set up depending on how you set up a marketplace like OpenSea or any of these other ones. And you've seen that with OpenSea actually going down a couple of times, I believe, too. So
right. And I don't think you could take the OpenSea open source code because it's all based on Ethereum and Solidity.
And I'll tell you, I've reached out. They're not really necessarily interested in adding OmniLite right now, or NFTs on Litecoin. So if you guys want to see that, I would really ask that you kind of petition them for that. But we, look at other options on how to create an actual marketplace for people to put them on versus just trying to do their own little sales pitch on Twitter and getting them done. But people are doing it, so. It tells you the resilience of the community.
Well, I'm definitely going to look more into the OmniLite layer and kind of get a feel for what's being offered. And then what about Mimblewimble? Is Mimblewimble being called the M-Web?
Yes. So it's called M-Web now. It's Mimblewimble extension block because we're trying to really sort of hammer home the fact that it's not on the actual blockchain. It's optional. It's an extension. So that does a number of good things for the blockchain itself. It helps, keep things unclogged for when it does get a lot busier. But at the same time, it's keeping the original blockchain the way it is. And so when it's optional like that, it allows exchanges and others to feel more comfortable still having Litecoin, as one of their coin options on their exchanges and other places, because, they don't have to necessarily say, okay, now I have to adopt this Litecoin with privacy features, and I don't really want to, because that brings eyeballs on us that we don't necessarily want. So,
Right.
This way it's optional, but it gives you the privacy of being able to, like maybe in our last talk, we gave this example, but like me taking $20 out of my wallet and giving it to you, nobody necessarily needs to know that it was $20 that I gave you. And they don't need to know how much I have in my wallet after I give you the $20 or how much is in yours after you receive it. So literally that's M-Web in a nutshell, is just privacy, and it allows one Litecoin to be one Litecoin to be one Litecoin.
And having it as an extension and not just overall on the entire blockchain makes sense, especially when you're seeing this crackdown and a lot of this regulation coming, people not being sure what's going to happen, and speculation with the privacy coins because of the fact that they are private and they allow that anonymity, and the governments are not fans of that,
right?
By no means.
Yeah.
But we need more fungibility. So now that you mention this, though, in theory, if I was to use the M-Web extension and then send that Bitcoin to an exchange, or send that Litecoin to an exchange, is there a possibility of that Litecoin being flagged in some capacity that it had utilized the M-Web extension, kind of like a shuffler?
So my understanding would be that you wouldn't be able to, because both ends would have to have M-Web enabled as an extension to receive and send. Right. So,
but I'm saying if the said Litecoin had been involved in a previous M-Web.
A previous, but it's not being sent from an M-Web wallet to it's another Litecoin. I don't think there's any issues there. Yeah.
Because the reason I bring this up, and I talked about the fungibility stuff with Charlie, with Bitcoin, let's say the government was researching something that was happening involving some illegal activities per them, and some Bitcoin were involved in those illegal activity. There are ways of being able to kind of flag those coins. And in the future, it could be that any of those dirty coins aren't going to be accepted by any legitimate source. And that's where something like fungibility comes into play with giving someone who doesn't have, because I shouldn't be responsible for what took place with a coin before I bought it.
Right. Like 6 interactions before your dollar bill could have been rolled up and used, for a cocaine purchase. And how are you supposed to know that? Right. So how many different traces of things are on the dollar bills now?
Right? Oh, you don't want to know.
No idea what's happened to them.
The 2 top things on a dollar bill, because I used to work in gentlemen's clubs for years, and this is something that I've learned because of working in the clubs and dealing with so much cash: cocaine and fecal matter. Not sure about the fecal matter part, but I guess it could just be from people not cleaning their hands properly after using the restroom. But so that's why when you hear people talk about dirty fiat, that's kind of what they mean, is this shitty cocaine money.
Yeah. So, which one would you rather have? A fungible amount of Litecoin that, you're never going to have to necessarily touch it physically, right? So, but it's still worth what it's supposed to be worth, and you're not held liable or responsible or docked against for something that happened 6 transactions before you received it.
Now, I know you're not like really a techie kind of person, but do you know, and I asked Charlie Lee if either of these, or this whole different Bitcoin improvement protocol that took place with Schnorr signatures and Taproot, that hasn't taken place on Litecoin. In the past, Taproot has?
Yeah. Schnorr, no. Not that I know of anyway. Yeah.
Was Taproot recently when it was done on Bitcoin?
It's just literally like in the last few weeks, I think. So.
Okay. But not Schnorr signatures.
Not that I know of, no.
Do you know if there's any plans to add that?
I would think ultimately anything that's being implemented in Bitcoin, it's very easy to turn around and figure out how to implement it in Litecoin. So I would venture to say at some point it's definitely going to be looked at. So
One of the conversations that I had with Charlie was separating Litecoin from Bitcoin. Because a lot of people, and I kind of have this viewpoint in a lot of ways, but I know it's changed a lot over the past few years. But Litecoin was almost a test net for Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, you could probably say that about, Mimblewimble too, right? Because who knows what they're going to implement, if they implement anything on the main Bitcoin protocol.
Yeah, because the Mimblewimble utilizes the Bitcoin protocol, right?
Yeah, so it's interesting that there's different ways they could go if they want to do something that's optional privacy as well. It doesn't have to be Mimblewimble. So, but I think not speaking for Charlie personally or anything, but just gauging things over the years and whatever, it'd be nice to have some differentiators that don't allow it to go too far off from where Bitcoin is, but far enough off that it's able to have its own identity and not be called just a test net or what's the purpose in it anymore or anything like that. I mean, obviously there's a purpose because there's been over $1 trillion sent over the Litecoin blockchain over the time that it's been,
PayPal,
live, so.
They're adding it. You're seeing Grayscale has Litecoin in their portfolio. So I mean, it's
investment tools and payment. I mean, they're all. If you watch the BitPay, here's another one for you. If you watch the BitPay processing, like how many payments are made in each crypto, like they put it out monthly, the report after the month is over. Litecoin's only been on there for about 7 months, and it's already the number 2 coin. It surpassed Ethereum, Dogecoin, all of them, and it's taking market share from all of them on BitPay to the point where it's like at about basically almost 15% of all the transactions done now are on Litecoin, and about 55 or something is done on Bitcoin. And then the rest of them are like 9, 8, 5, and like 0.8, 1. And so it went from 0 to 15% in a very short period of time. And I'm assuming it'll probably take a little bit even more market share. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes over 20 to 25% of all the BitPay payments that are made over the next 6 months. So,
is there anything else exciting in the pipelines for Litecoin that you can talk about?
Oh, let's see. So we said OmniLite, M-Web, payments. I'm trying to think. I'd love to see, like I said, I'd love to see an NFT marketplace. And I think Litecoin Gaming was probably the other big thing that's going on. So,
let's go ahead and talk about Litecoin Gaming, because you're an advisor with Litecoin Gaming.
Yeah. So they're in a completely separate organization. It's an LLC, but it's taken the Litecoin likeness, and they've worked closely with me to have a connection with the Litecoin Foundation, and now also with Jay Mila, the marketing director. We've done quite a bit with them, and now it's to the point where they've graduated as an entity to where they can start looking at adding real gaming tournament level teams to the organization through the foundation's help. So they just literally brought on a team that's Team Nefarious, and it's out of like the Rocket League sector of gaming, and they are just amazing. They have beaten the top 4 teams in the world at Rocket League at some point in the last year or so, and looking to do a lot of damage this year in Rocket League in general globally. So we're able to bring them in as a Litecoin Gaming team. And so we're really excited about that, because that puts us on a global stage where people are able to see Litecoin Gaming and Litecoin in general. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Are there any play to earn games like earning Litecoin coming in the future?
I'd like to see that. I don't think we're to that juncture yet, because we've been concentrating on a few other things, but that is definitely something that I'd like to see happen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be very cool to see something like that take place, especially with the whole play to earn system becoming it's very big trend that I think is gonna, I say trend, but I think it's something that's going to be here to stay.
I think so too. And this is the thing with me. I'm not technical in any of these areas per se, but I understand and recognize when there are impactful paradigm shifts within, life. And so for me, there's certain things that really resonate. Like obviously cryptocurrency resonated with me, and then that led to, other things. But gaming and earning to play is just another, it's inevitable, right? So that's going to happen. The NFTs, it was eventually going to happen in some capacity. So you either find a way to incorporate those into what you're doing. This is a very utilized, boring currency, Litecoin, but it's built to be that. You're supposed to use it for payments, right? And you can use it as a store of value. But if you're able to incorporate all of these other things that people are excited about, and these are things that people are going to be using, it just adds more value to the blockchain itself. So why wouldn't you?
No, I would agree, and especially if adding these elements don't really affect the blockchain itself. I mean, the way that Litecoin was
designed, they don't do anything to compromise, the blockchain in any capacity. It's all things that can be done on top of it if it's not a regular payment type thing that's done, peer to peer.
Right.
I don't see why not. So.
Well, I know somebody, not to promote the entity, but there was somebody that took the Litecoin code and created a social media application utilizing the Litecoin code. So, I mean, those things are possible, obviously, with Litecoin. And even though something is designed to be a peer-to-peer cash payment system, like you saying, it doesn't necessarily matter if there's other use cases in utility that add value overall.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's a ledger, right? And ledgers, although most ledgers are utilized for monetary tracking and stuff, ledgers are ledgers. It's a bookkeeping blockchain. So, I mean,
and ledgers are not exciting.
They're not, right?
Accounting is not exciting at all.
And so
unless you really like math, unless math is a turn on for you, and gets you off. Then
now, if you like sovereign money, individual money and things like that, it can be very exciting, right? If you understand that direction. But I mean, short of having paid excited people to talk about it on social media all day, that's not going to happen with Litecoin. And if people are pissed off about that, so be it. But you know what? $1 trillion over 10 years plus, and never had to be down one time. And I don't know what else to tell you, but to me, that's perfect money. So,
yeah, it's just, like I said, it's really sad when and I wouldn't really put it like on a lot of the old OGs or anything, but the newer people coming into crypto is like everybody wants something that's like exciting and amazing and just like it just, I mean, I don't get why people would want to speculate more than deal with something that's proven.
Yeah, it's all flash and sizzle. And so I would think, when the next bear market comes and everything just tanks again for a while, you'll see, Litecoin and a few others that have been around for some time and have a really solid, devoted base. Those will come back up, and my dogs are going nuts.
Well, I was going to say, I think your dog knows that we're in overtime, and he's like trying to say, like, it's time to end the interview.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. So Josh is coming over, our director of operations. He lives like 5 minutes from me, right?
Okay.
And we bought everybody for the launch, sort of a celebration. We bought them these Bitcoin and Litecoin watches from Coin Vigilante.
Okay.
And so he's coming to pick one up from
Seth. What's his name? Estrada's his last name.
Yeah, Carlos Estrada.
Carlos.
It was a great idea. And he did everything like perfectly. He just did a really good job, and the watches are really nice. I have mine right over here. And
he's supposed to be on the show sometime soon. We met in St. Petersburg.
Smart
really nice
guy,
guy,
man. Yeah.
Beautiful watches.
Yeah.
I like the idea of time being our most valuable asset.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, man. Well, I really definitely enjoyed your time. You got anything you want to add before we wrap up today?
Just keep an eye on us, and if you like being able to set it and forget it on your pay and have it converted to crypto, you should take a look at gethedge.io, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, we'll be in a few other countries here by summertime. So.
Then you can start living on the hedge, and then you can go tell the banks to go hedge yourself.
Yeah.
because you're rolling in the right direction. That's the only way you can go. And I definitely want people to make sure that they enjoyed this interview and they want to learn a little bit more in detail, to make sure that they're checking out that first conversation that we did back on August 17th. And it'll be linked down below as well.
Clean shave Dave versus Randy Macho Man Savage Dave.
The Mr. Rogers Dave versus
Mr. Rogers Dave.
All right, man. Well, bear with me one second. I want to wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you tuning in. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, I always encourage people to check out and explore my channel. Make sure you subscribe to my backup, Rice TVX. And I'll leave you with this: be the change, practice change.